Hi, I'm Lyle, Lansdell, the President and CEO of PM Residential Management, the operating arm for Praxis Capital. And looking forward to doing this first raise with iintoo on our property Grand Pavilion in Tampa, Florida. The Tampa, Florida market is considered the fourth strongest multifamily market in the nation. While there is construction on new units, the numbers are just not enough to meet demand. Tampa is on track to replace all the positions lost during the health crisis this past year. Already, jobs in the financial services, professional and business services, as well as the construction sectors are above the pre-pandemic levels. Hiring in the heavily hit leisure and hospitality segment should improve as tourism rebounds and more businesses open to full capacity in the months ahead. Even during the health crisis, the metro gained roughly 25,000 new residents. In 2021, the population is anticipated to expand at a pace that is almost twice the national rate, with an addition of nearly 28,000 people, underpinning a greater demand for goods and services. The key multifamily drivers are population growth, job growth, and household income or wage growth. Tampa has all three going for it in the foreseeable future. Grand Pavilion is located in the Tampa University submarket. That's what it's called. So the University of South Florida is roughly about less than a half mile from our property. This particular submarket, though, is not driven by the university solely. It also has medical. It also has immediate access to downtown Tampa. It has access to the airport, along with the military base in the area. So it has a diverse economy, which is one of the things that Tampa, the entire Tampa region, has. Creating jobs, which is very important for multifamily, as well as population growth, okay, and household income or household formation as well. Currently, one of the most efficient areas in the multifamily sector is what they call the value add play. Why? Because the value add play in the suburban markets is taking over for the urban. Prior to the pandemic, you would see many people moving to urban. They want to be in the urban environment. But the pandemic has changed. Their entire culture has changed. We're now work from home. Work from home is no longer an experiment. So one of the most important things that you can have is people moving away from the urban environment back into the suburban market. That's one of the things that really we look for in our particular assets. In this particular asset, you have Grand Pavilion, which does have access to the urban market, the downtown market, but it also has jobs in the hospitals and the medical workers and stuff in this particular submarket. So that's one of the things that we look for is we're really more of a suburban. We're also looking for the value add play. Because you have income growth, we want to be in markets that you have population growth, you have income growth, okay, and you have household formation. All those three factors help to drive a really good market. Well, when the government first started talking about the shutdown and people going out of work, certainly everybody in the multifamily sector, this was even before eviction moratoriums was concerned. But this particular property, when we did our due diligence, the number one things you look at is bad debt. What is the collections? And what we saw is that the pandemic really had virtually no impact, no significant impact whatsoever on the performance of residents paying the rent. Now, one of the keys, though, is that this particular property is in a submarket that has excellent job opportunities. So the job opportunities weren't exactly hurt in the particular pandemic. But more importantly was our infrastructure, our platform. Our platform was built years ahead of the pandemic. And so we were really ready to apply, and people were used to going online, searching apartments, seeing our technology, being able to pick their unit, their location, pick their lease term, fill out their application, pay their application fee, actually get approved all online within minutes of applying. And all they had to do was come pick up the keys. So the leasing activity just that we've experienced in this pandemic really allowed this thing to keep it really on track and just not be impacted. We bought a property called Turtle Creek right off Bears, about a half mile from where Grand Pavilion is, back in the late 2017 market. It's a similar business plan. Renovation, okay, re-roof, new asphalt, not not a slurry, but basically a grind. Renovation on the exterior, changing the tennis courts to a resort-style grill, and then interior renovations, changing out the cabinets, LED lighting, USB plugs, GFIs with LED lights, all of those particular things. That particular property was very successful, had many of the same components that Grand Pavilion does. Good access, lots of car traffic in front of the property, outstanding site staff. That property, similar to Grand Pavilion, had a higher mix of 1 bedrooms versus 2 bedrooms, which in this particular marketplace, as you see in the pandemic, you see the household sizes becoming smaller. So the 1 bedrooms is a true marketing advantage that gives us over many of our competitors, because we're not marketing to students. We're really workforce housing, taking care of the workers in the place, not students. Certainly the easy answer for things that separate one property from another is unit size, right? You'll hear everyone talk about unit size. You'll hear people talk about location. You'll hear people talk about product mix and resident profile. And all those are valuable. All of those come into play. They're all kind of mixed together, okay? Certainly location. This particular asset has a great location right off Bruce B. Downs, okay? But there are other properties that have locations off Bruce B. Downs. What truly separates a property is your site staff. It's the site staff that makes your property run. And how you invest in your site staff, how you train your site staff, what are their values? Are they putting your values out there, your corporate culture? Do your residents see that? Do they know? Do your residents feel a service attitude? Or do they get bitterness or complaints when they come in to get a work order or something like that done? Or if a resident has an issue, do you take care of it immediately? Especially in the pandemic when offices are closed. If you're not technologically set up to handle resident communications, whether it's a mass communication about, hey, you know what, we're going to be putting a roof on this particular building, so you need to park in a different place, or hey, there's a hurricane coming, or how you communicate. All of those things separate a property. And I can tell you that our site staffs are the most important element to a successful apartment property. One of the most exciting things about multifamily is watching the evolution of a property evolve. It's like a tulip. It's like a tulip that just kind of opens in the sunshine. And what we're seeing here at Grand Pavilion is new roofs, changing the insides of the units, and you're seeing residents who would rather stay on the property and just relocate to an upgraded or newly renovated unit. And that's when you know you have a good property, is when people want to stay in that environment and experience the community that's being developed.